We're back live. Let's keep the show going. It's 12:01.
Okay.
We've had a very exciting 2 hours. I'd like to thank all my speakers so far for taking their time and being in here with us and hanging out with us. And it's a real pleasure for me to introduce our next speaker, which is Collette Shine. You can see her right there. We had the opportunity to interact before we actually met, and then we met in New York City, and I think we hit it off great. We've been having a great time talking about this event, and she's wonderful. Her company is Organize and Shine, and she's based out of New York, and some of the stuff we were talking about, what she's going to show you right now is organizing your photographs in general and for the holidays, but she's a real passionate person about organizing your photos. So a little round of applause for Collette Shine.
Thanks, Adam. As you and I had mentioned, there may be a lot of hand movement. Between my Italian and your Jewish, you know, we're all over the place. So I am a professional organizer, and I do spend a lot of times in homes and home offices. But one thing that I'm very passionate about is I'm passionate about photos, because photos tell our stories. They tell the stories of our lives and our families. And I find that photos are actually one of the things that people have a lot of anxiety about. And Christmas time sometimes fosters that anxiety, because you're doing Christmas cards for the family, so you're going through your photos, or maybe you're doing a book or a project for a relative. So you're seeing all your photos, and then you're realizing, oh my God, they're so disorganized. I've got photos on my phone, I've got photos on my computer, I've got them on my camera. They're everywhere. What am I going to do? And it creates a lot of anxiety, and I want everyone to know you're not alone. Everybody is feeling this way right now. And I think the best thing you can do for yourself is to really just take the bull by the horns and not put it off for another day, because you don't want to lose your photos. You know, you always hear whenever there's a natural disaster, especially after Sandy, what did everyone say? It wasn't the stuff, it was their photos, it was their families, it was their memories. So let's try to not lose perspective of that when we have thousands of pictures on our phones and thousands of pictures on our cameras. So what I want to start out with is I want to tell you 4 things that you can do immediately. I think the first thing is you want to get those pictures off those devices and get them backed up. I always recommend starting off with getting the pictures off the phone. Don't delete them on the phone or off the camera until you have a good solid system in place for backing up. I myself have online backup. I use Carbonite. There are other online companies you can use, and I actually created a little resource sheet that lists some of those, some of the free ones, some of the paid ones, some of the resources that are just for photographs like Flickr. And you want to make sure that they're backed up. I have them backed up in 2 ways. I'm a big belts and suspenders kind of girl, so I use a hard drive, and I also use the online backup. So get the pictures off your phone. Then decide what you're going to do with the pictures. Like, what are your goals for your pictures? You don't want your pictures just living on a hard drive somewhere. I belong to one organization. It's called the Association of Personal Photo Organizers, and the founder of that organization, her name's Kathy Nelson, she likes to use this line, which I love: "Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be JPEGs." And seriously, like, it's kind of funny, but all of our pictures live on our computers, and that's not really where they're meant to live. They're meant to, you know, be a part of our lives. And it's nice if you have something digital, like a digital picture frame or something like that. But I think the second thing you can do is really decide, how do you want those pictures to be a part of life, and what can you do to bring them in so that you can make them, you know, that brings us kind of to the third point, is do something with the pictures. So after you've decided what your goal is, do something with the pictures. I like to create photo books. I have a couple here. I just want to show you a few things. I think photo books are great because you can get pictures printed, but then you're stuck with, now what do I do with the pictures? Where do I store them? Do I put them in an album? If you jump right to putting them into a photo book album, or right into a photo book, you've kind of done both things at the same time. So right here I have see if I can get it straight. I have a wedding album that I did, and what I like about doing these photo books is they can be diverse in that this is the wedding invitation for that particular wedding. And the other thing that's interesting is this picture right here I wanted to show you. Over here, see the bride and the little girl? That was a picture from the wedding. But it was one that had a whole lot of other stuff going on in the picture, and we were using the photo book. You're able to zoom into details so that you really can highlight something that maybe you can't quite highlight in a picture, or at least not with going through the pictures and doing a heavy amount of editing. So I love that way of telling a story. I have another photo book here that I did for a client, and this client really wanted to show her son how much her involvement in his life really meant to her. So she really folded in pictures, she folded in memorabilia, there's birth certificates, there's all sorts of things that really tell the story of this kid's life, and she was able to give him this book when he graduated from college. So here is the other book, and this actually is very interesting here. This Ian here is made up of all small photos contained in the book. One of the things we did here also is, so here is some of the things, this is where he went to school. So there's a bunch of information all about the school. So he's got school photos, he's got school trips, he's also got the motto, because the motto of that school was very, very important to who he was as a person. So those are just some fun things, you know, with regard to photo books, but the point being is to do something with the photos, to decide, you know, what you really want the photos to be a part of your life. You know, not every photo is meant to be printed out and stuck in a photo album, and I think that's sometimes where my my clients can get stuck. We like to talk about there being like the A photos, the photos that are the really important ones, the ones that deserve to be in an album, and then other photos that maybe don't deserve to be printed out, or maybe photos that deserve to be deleted. Let's be frank, how many photos do we take on our cameras and our phones that you don't need to have for the rest of your life? So those are three things. So let me just recap. Get the photos off your phone, get them backed up, decide what you want to do with the photos, do something with the photos, and then the fourth thing, which is key, is to create a system going forward. Now, professional organizers love to use the word system. Create systems, create systems. All a system is just a series of steps that you follow whenever you want to accomplish something. So you have a standard amount of time. Every month you download the photos. After every holiday you download the photos. Where you download them to. And then do you create in that process, okay, I'm going to take some time to delete them. I'm going to take some time to create a photo book. I'm going to take some time to upload them, maybe to Snapfish, so you can just get some 4x6 prints printed out. That's what I mean by creating a system, just a kind of a series of steps that you can kind of follow, you know, regular basis that will create where you're going to be going forward. Right. So that was a lot of information, Adam. Is there anything more you want to hear from me? Because I can keep talking about.
Well, you know, I love it because you and I we're so New York, and you know, one of the things I've been trying to do is pace my speaking, but it's difficult when you get so excited and passionate about some things. Yeah. And I mean, every time we've spoken about photographs, even though it's such a narrow little niche, there's so much to talk about. And you know, the books that you made are gorgeous, and having all those little pictures in the Ian book on the front cover, I mean, what a cool idea. Yeah. And of course all that stuff is automated, so this is easy, like anybody could do this, right? Like
absolutely. And you know, in that handout that you know, hopefully will go out you know, with the email from this meeting. I have some photo book resources in there, and there's a full range. So there's everything from Snapfish, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard before, to, you know, Photo Book Press, which is a small operation that hand bind the books. The quality of these books are unbelievable. There's also another group, Adorama, which is actually located here in New York City. In fact, I'm getting 10 leather books delivered today for one of my clients that we did a huge project. You can do it the easy way, you can do it the complicated way, and everything in between. And that's what's so wonderful about this, the world of digital books. You can upload a bunch of pictures in Snapfish and have them automatically place all the pictures into a book for you. And that's all you have to do. It's so easy. Anyone can do that. Or if you're, you know, if you're more creative and you really want to put more of you into the book, you want to have titles into the book, you want to make it funny. that's what you can do with these photo books. You can really, I have a good story actually. I took a family history, so we scanned black and white photos that went back from the 1900s up until the 1950s. And I was able to sit with the matriarch of that family and document some of the information about each photo. And then when we put the photos into this photo book, I was able to, some pages actually tell the story behind the photo. So the photo was, you know, a black and white photo of a gentleman leaning on a car. The story was that was the first time he ever drove that car, and he ran into the back of the barn. So, so especially when, you know, you're showing pictures, but you're also trying to tell, you know, your memories, your stories. That's what I think that this medium is so great, because, you know, yeah, it's great to print out a 4x6 picture, but to really be able to tell the story behind the picture, it's a great way to interweave the two things together.
Right, right, and you're so dead on about developing the system, and about the fact that people have pictures everywhere, because there's for me personally, there's pictures on my phone, but that's just my phone today. Then I have pictures from phones that I, you know, upgraded and I never fully took them out. I have a laptop. I upgraded my laptop, so I still have some old pictures over there.
Yeah.
And I made one of the books. I used Blurb. It was back in the day. I know they're still around, and you've mentioned them before. They're a great company. And even just how you said, you just put all the pictures now into some of these companies, and they'll do the whole book for you. I remember I had a great time designing a book. I did that when my daughter was born. That was 5 years ago, and I still have a folder on my desk for my son's book, and he's more than 3.5 right now, and I still haven't gotten it to him. So
sure, yeah,
I'm also a victim of the same problem, even though I try to be as organized as possible. But,
that brings up two things. The first thing is, shameless plug, I do have a little bit of a blog post that talks about creating good photo books and kind of like what that process could be all about. And also on my YouTube channel, I filmed some videos. It's Organize Shine is the YouTube channel. Just talk about a couple of these things having to do with books and how to create them. And I also noticed that Neelam wrote in the little comment section she wanted to know, you know, kind of what books that I would recommend. And as I mentioned, I have a list of about 8 of them in that resource sheet. And I think it's really what you feel comfortable with, just in terms of the technology. You know, there's one, my publisher, they're out of Valhalla, New York. Their technology is such that you download software to your computer, and you're working on your album using your pictures on your computer. And if something should happen in the middle, let's say in a lot of like Snapfish, for instance, you're working on their servers. So if anything should happen with your internet access, you know, sometimes you can lose work. So sometimes it's worth knowing how, even though it sounds technically complicated, it's worth knowing how all of these book companies work. Are they housing your work, or are you housing your work? Do you have to upload it? And again, I said it sounds a little technical, but you know, their FAQs and everything are going to explain exactly how their process works. So those are just 2 things I wanted to throw in there about photo books.
Yeah, those are great. And you know, the further along we go in time and with the integration of all these different technologies, they really are getting so easy for people to use. It's just, you know, you got to get up and do it. And I've lost pictures, you've lost picture, everybody that's on this call has lost picture, and there's nothing more traumatic than that, especially like I recently just lost like my daughter going to kindergarten for the first time, getting on the bus. I had it on a video, and the video card ended up going bad like 2 days later before I had a chance to download it. So it's something I'll never get back. I'll remember it in my head, but it's so important to back up. So thank you so much for that. It was
yeah, and a quick thing is, you know, they're really talking about every 2 years you need to go back and look at where your data is stored, and bring it up to the latest and the greatest. So, you know, you might have information stored on DVDs or on CDs, you know, pictures from a while ago. Well, get them onto something else before, you know, maybe there's failure on that DVD, or failure, you know, or on a hard drive that might have failure. So you have to be active constantly, ever vigilant with your pictures, you know, because as I said, times are going to change, which is I think why printing things out, making books, doing something with them, which is my point C, you know, or my point 3, is important, because then at least you always have that.
Right, and I'm glad you just said that again because I was just going to say it again. You know, print it out, get it in a book, and then you have a beautiful book. You've done it. It's done professionally, and they're relatively you know, affordable. There are different price options you could do. You could bang something out, and we treasure the book that I made for my daughter when she was born. We pull it out pretty frequently, and we look at the story of her birth. So it's really, really cool. So Collette,
kids love looking at it. Yeah, kids love looking at pictures of themselves too.
Oh God, they sure do. So I thank you. A big round of applause.
Thank you.
Well, let's shine, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
No problem.